Picture this: months of planning, boarding pass in hand, that first sunset already in your head. Then, security stops you. The pills you neatly packed in a plastic organizer don't match the original pharmacy labels. Instead of settling into your cabin, you're stuck in a back room while everyone else boards. The ship hasn't left, but it feels like your vacation already has. In 2025, new rules for traveling with medication at airports and cruise terminals can trip you up if you're not prepared. Whether you're flying to your port or walking straight onto the ship, how you pack your meds can decide if your trip starts stress-free or with a problem you never saw coming. In this video, I'll share 12 must-know tips to keep your medication safe, compliant, and always within reach. One of them is the rule most cruisers still get wrong, even now. Have you ever had airport security question your medication? Tell me in the comments. Your story might save someone else's cruise. If you're flying to your cruise departure port, your medication should be in the one bag you keep under the seat in front of you, your personal item. Yes, technically you could put it in your carry-on or even your checked luggage, but if it's something you absolutely can't go without, keeping it in arm's reach is non-negotiable. Here's why. Checked bags sometimes take their own vacation and don't arrive when you do. Imagine landing in Miami, ready to board your ship, and your meds are still enjoying Denver. Overhead bins fill up fast, and gate agents often tag larger carry-ons to be checked at the last minute. If that happens, you won't see your medication until the baggage carousel, long after your ship has sailed. One couple I met in Miami had to choose between boarding without their medication or missing the ship to wait for their bag. They chose the ship. Day 2, medical center visit. Keeping meds in your personal item means they're always with you, from the moment you step off the plane to the moment you walk up the gangway. Would you risk it in the overhead bin or keep it right under your seat? If you're flying within the US, TSA keeps it simple. Prescription pills don't need special screening. You can keep them in your carry-on or checked bag as long as they're for personal use. For international travel, whether you're flying overseas to board your cruise or your ship visits foreign ports, things get trickier. Many countries, like Japan, Singapore, and the UAE, expect medications to be in their original pharmacy bottles, with labels intact showing your name, the drug name, dosage, instructions, and the pharmacy's details. A passenger flying into Tokyo lost an entire day of their cruise because customs didn't recognize their pills in an unmarked organizer, even with a prescription. Here's how to avoid being that person stuck at customs while everyone else is already boarding the ship. Even if you prefer using an organizer, bring the original bottles in your bag along with a prescription copy. For controlled substances or anything that might raise questions, a doctor's note can make all the difference if customs decides to take a closer look. Before you travel, check official sources like TSA.gov for US airport rules and contact the embassy of your destination country for the latest medication regulations. For domestic US flights, TSA doesn't mind if you use a weekly or daily pill organizer. You don't have to keep pills in their original bottles. Internationally, it depends on the country. Some customs officials will only accept meds in their original containers, while others are fine with an organizer if you can show proper documentation, like a doctor's note or a printed prescription. If you love the convenience of an organizer, here's a smart workaround. Stick a small label inside or underneath each compartment with the drug name and dosage. Carry your prescription copy in the same bag. That way, if an officer asks, you can identify every pill instantly, without fumbling through your memory or unpacking your entire bag. We're talking about the everyday stuff here. Pain relievers, cold medicine, allergy tablets, vitamins. In the US, TSA doesn't require special screening for these in pill form. Still, it pays to keep things labeled. A small sticker or the original packaging can save you time if security asks what you're carrying. Yes, even allergy pills can get pulled aside if they look suspicious on the scanner. Here's a pro tip for speed. Put all your pills, prescription and over-the-counter, into one clear zip-top bag. That way, if you're asked to pull them out, you've got everything in one grab. It's faster, cleaner, and you're less likely to leave a bottle behind at the checkpoint. For regular liquids, think shampoo, sunscreen, perfume, you're stuck with TSA's 311 rule. No container bigger than 3.4 ounces, all fitting into one quart-sized clear bag. But liquid medications get special treatment. They're not bound by the size limit, whether it's prescription cough syrup, medicated eye drops, or contact lens solution. The catch? They'll go through extra screening. A TSA officer might open the bottle or swab it to test for prohibited substances. I once saw a passenger get pulled aside for 10 minutes because their bottle of eye drops was buried in their toiletry kit. Everything had to be unpacked, rescanned, and repacked, while their boarding group was already lining up. The fix is simple. Keep all liquid meds in a separate clear bag from your toiletries. When you hit security, pull that bag out and put it in its own bin. No digging, no holding up the line, and you'll be on your way before the guy in flip-flops finds his boarding pass. If you're bringing anything powdered, think protein powder, baby powder, powdered drink mixes, TSA has a magic number, 12 ounces. Anything over that has to be taken out of your bag for extra screening. It's not just about medicine. Customs officers might want to check any large container of powder, especially on international flights. And yes, they might even open it. Best move? Pack only what you'll actually need, keep it sealed, and know exactly where it is in your bag so you can pull it out quickly. And for the love of smooth travel, make sure the lid is tight, unless you want your carry-on to look like a baking accident halfway through the X-ray belt. Here's the system I swear by, and it saved me from more than one slow, awkward checkpoint. I keep 3 separate clear bags inside my carry-on. One for regular toiletries, shampoo, sunscreen, perfume, all under 3.4 ounces. One for liquid meds and medical solutions, clearly labeled. One for pills, both prescription and over-the-counter, also labeled, with original bottles for anything I'm taking internationally. If I've got powders, I know exactly which pocket they're in, ready to grab. That way, when I hit the conveyor belt, I just pull out those bags, drop them in bins, and keep moving. No fumbling. No line of impatient travelers sighing behind me. It's quick, it's organized, and honestly, it makes me look like I've done this 1,000 times, even when I haven't flown in months. If you've got a medical device, the key is to speak up before you even hit the scanner. For internal devices, like a pacemaker, tell the TSA officer right away. You'll usually skip the metal detector and get a pat-down instead. It's about protecting your health, not slowing you down. For external devices, like an insulin pump, it's the same deal. Let them know before you walk through. The device might set off alarms, but you don't have to remove it. They'll just do a quick manual check to confirm it's what you say it is. I've seen TSA officers go from, "Sir, can you step over here?" to "Got it, let's make this quick for you," in seconds, just because the passenger mentioned their device up front. The faster you tell them, the smoother it goes. Wait until the beeping starts, and suddenly you're the reason the line stops moving. And wait till you hear about the cruise passenger who had to abandon her Caribbean trip over one tiny bottle. Just because a medication is legal in the US doesn't mean it's welcome everywhere else. Japan, for example, has a total ban on Adderall, even with a prescription. Singapore? They'll confiscate Ambien on site. And some countries have a long list of controlled substances that includes common meds you'd never think twice about at home. Then there's the big cruise ship no-goes. Marijuana in any form, and CBD products, even the THC-free kind. Most cruise lines ban CBD outright because they follow international maritime laws, not just the rules of the port you depart from. That said, a few destinations and ports may allow THC-free CBD with proper documentation, but your cruise line's policy is the one that matters. Always check directly with your line, whether it's Carnival, Royal Caribbean, or MSC, before packing it. One passenger I met brought CBD oil just to help with sleep. By the second port, she was escorted off the ship, and spent the rest of the week figuring out a flight home instead of enjoying the warm beaches she'd booked months in advance. Before you travel, check both the country's laws and your cruise line's banned item list. A quick search now can save you days of disappointment later. If traveling with meds or medical gear makes you anxious, TSA actually has services to make the process easier. You just have to know they exist. First up is TSA Cares. It's a free program where you can request a dedicated assistant to walk you through security. They'll meet you at the checkpoint, guide you through each step, and make sure you get extra time if needed. Just call at least 72 hours before your flight to set it up. One traveler I spoke with had severe arthritis and couldn't stand in long lines. She booked TSA Cares, and an agent met her curbside, escorted her past the crowds, and had her through security in minutes, stress-free, no rush, no pain flare-ups. Then there's Ask TSA. Got a weird question about a specific medication, device, or packaging? You can DM them on Facebook or X, and they'll answer directly, often within hours. That way, you know exactly what to expect before you even leave home. Most passengers never use these services simply because they don't know they exist. Once you do, you'll wonder why you ever traveled without them. If you're flying to your cruise port and carrying medication, especially liquids, powders, or medical devices, plan to get to the airport earlier than you normally would. Security might need to test, swab, or inspect your items, and that can take anywhere from a couple of minutes to over 15. For most domestic flights, add at least 30 to 45 minutes to your usual arrival time. For international flights, give yourself at least an extra hour. At larger airports like JFK, LAX, or Miami International, security lines and additional screening can easily add another 20 to 30 minutes, especially during peak travel hours. I once met a couple in Fort Lauderdale who thought they had plenty of time until security pulled their medical supplies for extra screening. By the time they cleared, their gate was closed and their ship was already boarding. They spent the first night of their Caribbean cruise in an airport hotel. Don't let that be you. Have your prescriptions, doctor's notes, or any necessary paperwork ready to show without digging. The less you fumble, the faster you move. And the less chance you'll start your vacation stressed out before you even leave the airport. Compared to airports, cruise terminals are usually more relaxed about medication. As long as you're not carrying anything on the banned list, like marijuana, CBD products, or illegal narcotics, you'll probably sail right through. Still, relaxed doesn't mean no checks. Some international cruise ports, especially in Australia or parts of Europe, can inspect medication more closely, similar to airport screening. To avoid surprises, check the rules for your embarkation port and every stop on your itinerary. Cruise smart. Bring enough medication for your trip, plus an extra 3 to 5 days supply in case of weather delays, itinerary changes, or unexpected medical needs. Cruise ship medical centers are great for emergencies, but they won't have your custom prescription. And as mentioned earlier, keep your essential meds with you, not in checked luggage. So you're covered from the moment you start your journey until you walk into your cabin. Traveling with medication doesn't have to be stressful. It just takes a little prep and knowing the rules before you pack. In 2025, the right bag placement, clear labels, and a few smart habits can mean the difference between a hassle-free trip and a headache before you even hit the open water. And remember, there's one rule most cruisers still forget, even seasoned travelers. Forget it, and you risk losing your meds or your entire trip. Get it right, and you'll never have to think about it again. If you found this helpful, share it with a fellow cruiser who needs to hear it. And if you've ever had a surprise at airport or cruise ship security, good or bad, drop your story in the comments. You never know who you might help. Here's to smooth sailing, safe travels, and your meds always being right where you need them. See you on board.